Yeah, I've been touched on some of this stuff, so I'm not going to get back into it. Oh, I work for a woman here in Chico, landscaping, and strangest story she had when I saw her earlier this week. She told me this is a woman that has a full grown German Shepherd dog. I'm going to play a video in a second of this dog. I happen to get a short video recently of Shay, the German Shepherd, but she told me that in the middle of the night she heard the door open, 2 in the morning, 2 something in the morning. Somebody comes in her house. This is totally out of the ordinary. She must have forgot to lock her door. She's got this ferocious, almost vicious dog. At least she sounds vicious. If you hear this dog bark when you approach that home, you'll be deathly afraid, okay, of this animal. Let me tell you, okay. Even to this day, even though I can hug her now when we're playing, and I can give her a kiss right on her face, um, she's ferocious. But you see, this lady explained to me that, well, her son sometimes comes in and just opens the door, and she's got a caretaker, so that'll do the same thing, just walk right in. So Shay is thinking that it's somebody that means no harm, apparently, when there's no knock. Now, if you knocked, it's another story, I imagine. Or like me, just walking up on the house. She might just be excited at this point when I show up because she really likes me. I play with her. But I'm going to show you this animal on my phone. But this girl, what it turns out to be, and this lady, she practices her Second Amendment rights. So this is not the right house for a home invader. Turns out some woman, I think she said she was 22, drunk as hell, stumbles in the house looking for some place to use the restroom. Is that the most bizarre thing you ever heard? So she holds her there. She talked to her. She had to parent this woman. She stepped up to the plate, didn't shoot her, and called the cops. And the cops showed up. 911 call. They probably didn't have sirens going at that time of day, wake everybody in the whole town up. But silent approach with lights going. But they got there real quick, and this woman was arrested for entering this house, and it's just bizarre. I mean, it's just the strangest thing you've ever heard. It was probably in the newspaper, but I didn't see it on the mainstream media. Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to show this video. It's a really small screen, but let's let it play out here. Just so you get an idea of the size of this animal. So believe me, that's not the animal you want to be on the wrong side of. But I just wanted to share that because it's such a bizarre story. I love that dog. I think about her between. I go out there every couple of weeks, but I always think about her. I just love animals, and dogs are very special to me. I had a German Shepherd when I was 14. I lived in Felton, which is a town in the Santa Cruz Mountains. But at 6 months old, he was a beautiful Shepherd with those same markings. 6 months old, and my sister had him off leash downtown Felton, and he ended up getting run over by a semi truck. It happened right in front of me, and I was just shocked. And this kid from junior high was thought it was cool. He didn't know it was my dog, and he came up to me. He recognized me from school. Oh, dude, wasn't that cool? That truck ran right over that dog's brains, that dog's head, and squirted his brains. And I just started beating the crap out of that kid, just spontaneously. I didn't hurt him. He was wearing one of these big fat down coats. I didn't hit him in the face, but I was just showing him that was totally unacceptable. It was weird. You know, on racism, it's an absolute fact that white people are not the only ones that can be racist. Plenty of people can be racist. Look at the genocide going on in South Africa, targeting white people. My dad wanted to live in the United States Virgin Islands, but it's primarily black people there, and they were racist. I mean, he was tuned in. He knew. I mean, you know, some people make no bones about it. They say, yes, we're racist here, so we don't, you know, we're xenophobic. We don't want people of other tribes, other races moving in here and screwing things up. We just want, you know, it's a superiority thing. So, and you know what? We all come from Africa, purportedly. So we're all like African Americans. We're all like from the 12 tribes of Israel. We're all Jews for that reason. And you know, it's just so stupid, all this racist stuff, you know. But if there was racism, it would be against the Latinos, I think, in America, more so, with the whole, you know, farm worker thing and people justifying that and saying, well, we got to take advantage of somebody. You want cheap food, don't you? You know how if we had to pay these people 100,000 a year to work on the farms, you know what you'd be paying for food. So I mean, I get it. I understand that there's a multi-pronged, you know, benefit to why they want immigration in this country. Cheap labor, you know, oppressing people, exploiting labor, bringing people in here, keeping the other minimum wage workers in their place so they don't get too cocky about their jobs, job security. And they're consumers of consumables, and they need everything from loans to buy cars to toiletries to food and everything else in between, housing. So, yes, you understand that a lot of people's jobs depend on selling those services and commodities, like the Chamber of Communists. More the merrier. It's a head count, right? That's the schools, et cetera, on and on. So understand the motivation for wanting all these immigrants and problems all over the world, because these people love this pool of desperately poor people south of the border to tap into at will, believe me. So they don't want things to get better down there. They don't want problems fixed south of the border. It's sick. That's how evil these people are, man. But just remember, anybody can be racist. Any race can be racist toward another. Come on, let's not be stupid. We all know that's true. I think a lot of the reasons white men sometimes are racist against black men, to be quite honest, I've often thought it's because they're jealous. I mean, think of all the black musicians that we all adore out there. Or maybe you're into sports and all the, you know, all those athletes, black, and there a lot of them are better, man. And we've all heard the stories about being more sexually endowed. That hasn't really proven itself out. I mean, but look, the point is that they are a strong race. I mean, some of these guys really excel. They're very talented, very artistically, very, very musical, and you know, so I think that's it. They're, you know, that there's see when somebody of another race is superior by virtue of empirical evidence and, you know, axiomatically speaking, you know, stronger genetically, then it makes those of weaker genetics feel inferior. So this is, you know, this would explain the racism in their minds, is that they don't like them because they make them look bad. It's just like a kid that does good in class raises the bar and makes the other ones look bad. So to me, that's the only explanation. But yeah, Max and Stacy, I still got to understand what they're talking about with that inflation business.